Hey man, you got a minute? I got a question.
Oh, one moment, please.
Oh, what is it? Hey man, this is kind of embarrassing, but what is Halloween? I mean, what is it? Where'd it come from? Man, you and I have been around for a long time, and it seems like it's always been here. But where did it come from?
Well, do you want the corporate answer, or do you want the true meaning of Halloween and where it came from?
Well, heck, man, I know the corporate answer. Selling cards, candy, decoration, questionable nurse costumes to college ladies, theme park events to sell more alcohol, and, well, cereal companies making a buttload of money off Frankenberry and Count Chocula.
Oh, yes, that's correct. Fun fact, there's about 600 million pounds of candy sold for Halloween each year, with an impressive 90 million pounds sold on the week of Halloween.
Yeah, man, I know that, but where did it come from?
Oh, well, my furry friend, the tradition originated with an ancient Celtic festival of Samhain.
What's a Samhain? Sounds like you're calling a pig. Samhain! And don't you mean the Celtics? And Bird and Parrish? They're the real goats, man.
Oh, Horace, you probably pronounce it Samhain, but it's actually pronounced Samhain. And the Celtics are a basketball team, but the Celts are an ancient group of people from Ireland and France. Now, where was I? Oh, Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. The Celts, who lived 2,000 years ago, mostly in the area that is now known as Ireland and in northern France, celebrated their new year on November 1st. This day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of year that was often associated with human death. Celts believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghost of the dead returned to the earth. In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, Celts thought that the presence of otherworldly spirits made it easier for the Druids or Celtic priests to make predictions about the future. For a people entirely dependent on the volatile natural world, these prophecies were an important source of comfort during the long, dark winter. To commemorate the events, Druids built huge sacred bonfires where people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities.
Say what?
Oh, during this celebration, the Celts wore costumes typically consisting of animal heads and skins and attempted to tell each other's fortunes.
So that's where wearing costumes came from.
Oh, we're getting there. When the celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires, which they had extinguished earlier that evening, from the sacred bonfire to help protect them during the coming winter. By 43 AD, the Roman Empire had conquered the majority of the Celtic territory. In the course of the 400 years they ruled the Celtic lands, two festivals of Roman origin were combined with the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain. The first was Feralia, a day in late October when the Romans traditionally commemorated the passing of the dead. The second was a day to honor Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. The symbol of Pomona is the apple, and the incorporation of this celebration into Samhain probably explains the tradition of bobbing for apples that is practiced today on Halloween.
Oh, man, I never knew that. Have you ever bobbed for apples, Vincent?
Oh, no, Horace, I have never, nor will I ever bob for anything.
Hey, what else did the Romans bob for?
The Romans? Oh, that's a story for another time in a different channel. Now, on May 13, 609 AD, Pope Boniface IV dedicated the Pantheon in Rome in honor of all Christian martyrs, and the Catholic Feast of All Martyrs' Day was established in the Western Church. Pope Gregory III later expanded the festival to include all saints as well as martyrs, and moved the observance from May 13th to November 1st. By the 9th century, the influence of Christianity had spread into Celtic lands where it gradually blended with and supplanted older Celtic rites. In 1000 AD, the church made November 2nd All Souls Day, a day to honor the dead. It's widely believed today that the church was attempting to replace the Celtic Festival of the Dead with a related church-sanctioned holiday. All Souls Day was celebrated similarly to Samhain, with big bonfires, parades, and dressing up in costumes as saints, angels, and devils. The All Saints Day celebration was also called All Hallows or All Hallowmas, from the English All Hallowmas, meaning All Saints Day. And the night before it, the traditional night of Samhain in the Celtic religion, began to be called All Hallows Eve, and eventually Halloween. The celebration of Halloween was extremely limited in colonial New England because of the rigid Protestant belief system there. Halloween was much more common in Maryland and the southern colonies, as the beliefs and customs of different European ethnic groups and the American Indians meshed. A distinctly American version of Halloween began to emerge. The first celebration included play parties, which were public events held to celebrate the harvest. Neighbors would share stories of the dead, tell each other's fortunes, and dance and sing.
Would they dance and sing in the pale moonlight?
Oh, stop it. Colonial Halloween festivities also featured the telling of ghost stories and mischief-making of all kinds. By the middle of the 19th century, annual autumn festivities were common, but Halloween was not yet celebrated everywhere in the country. In the second half of the 19th century, America was flooded with new immigrants. These new immigrants, especially the millions of Irish fleeing the Irish potato famine, helped to popularize the celebration of Halloween nationally. Now, borrowing from early European traditions, Americans began to dress up in costumes and go house to house asking for food or money, a practice that eventually became today's trick-or-treat tradition. Young women believed that on Halloween they could divine the name or appearance of their future husband by doing tricks with yarn, apple parings, or mirrors. In the late 1800s, there was a move in America to mold Halloween into a more about community and neighborly get-togethers than about ghost pranks and witchcraft. At the turn of the century, Halloween parties for both children and adults became the most common way to celebrate the day. Parties focused on games, foods of the season, and festive costumes. Parents were encouraged by newspapers and community leaders to take anything frightening or grotesque out of Halloween celebrations. Because of these efforts, Halloween lost most of its superstitious and religious overtones by the beginning of the 20th century. And that is pretty much how we ended up with the Halloween we celebrate today.
Is there something missing? I mean, why do we carve pumpkins?
Oh, Horace, I'm tired. Can we pick this up next week and I'll tell you all about Stingy Jack?
All right, man. I asked about pumpkins, but okay, whatever you want. I'm gonna go out back and dig up something.
How about you dig up a way to get me out of this coffin?
Hey, man, I got a plan in place. Next week, Stingy Jack. Hey, folks, tune in next time.